Good morning, Los Animas County Fair fans. We are here again at Los Animas County Fair, obviously. It is Saturday morning, and we are about to bring the round-robin showmanship contest to you. Now, this is going to kind of be a fun morning. We have two cameras in two locations set up, one right here in the outdoor covered expo. Now, I think they call this the Livestock Pavilion. And then across the way in the expo barn, Brody is going to be on the screen showing us the livestock showmanship contest happening in there. The way it's going to work today is here in the Livestock Pavilion, we will have pigs, sheep, and goats being showed. Sheep and goats pretty much in what you're going to see right here. Pigs will be in a little pen just to the screen's right. We're going to pan over and try to bring as much as the action. And then what you'll see is a second feed right there of what is going on inside the expo hall. So over there we will have beef cattle, dairy cattle, and horses being shown. So we'll have a total of 6 different categories being shown today. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And we're going to bounce back and forth between the various locations. So we got a couple of minutes to go. They are a couple minutes to go here. Looks like our showmen are getting their instructions.
Right. Well,
generally the way it is going to work is every group is going to kind of be together, a senior, a junior, and an intermediate. And then they will rotate through the various species, showing them one by one. So they'll have a certain amount of time they're going to be working with each animal. And each showmanship judge has a scorecard, and he is going to, or she is going to be scoring each of those individuals as they go along. And then when it is all done, they will tally up the scores. And later on this afternoon, much later, right before the sale begins, they will announce who won the showmanship contest in each of those age group divisions, starting with our seniors, who are the eldest group, and then the intermediates, and then the young junior showmanship. So we won't have any announcements of winners here in this broadcast because it's, again, hours later that we will know. And it really is a fun thing to get to do in terms of finally winning a showmanship class and then getting to compete on this day. Sometimes it's something that are, even within the age groups, the older showmen, the more experienced showmen, finally get good enough to win that species-specific showmanship contest. And then they earn the right to compete here in showmanship. All right, it looks like our competitors are headed out to their various locations. And don't have our pigs out here yet, but I'm sure they will be here momentarily. We got our goats and our sheep kind of ready to rock. It's kind of a fun thing. Since moving back here to the area in 2006, we've had our kids, as soon as they were old enough, involved in 4-H. I think we won. I don't know that any of my sons actually won a showmanship competition. For the majority of our time, we have shown poultry, which doesn't exactly, it's not a showmanship style kind of livestock contest. But back in my day, I got to compete in this once, and it was quite the experience. Glad I was able to do it. And it really does challenge you and your skills as a showman. So we're going to take a little time here and bounce over to the second barn.
It's an interesting look, but
there you can see our competitors coming into the expo hall over there. You see we have a area for horse showmanship. And then as
Well,
Brody pans around, you will see not only horse showmanship, but you're going to see places where we're doing dairy cattle and beef cattle getting shown as well. So we'll pull up the 2 screens so you can see all of the action happening right there. Pretty cool, I think.
Don't they just bring the horses home?
oh yeah. Since that'd be kind of a waste.
All right, and we will do our best to bring a little bit of all of the action here to you.
So Trayden, are you just kind of hanging around?
All of our competitors kind of just getting started.
Would you mind doing something for me real quick?
Looks like we will have goats rather, on the far side of this ring.
Could you ask him like if this all looks good or if he needs to change or anything? So, thank you so much.
And we have now started. We're just going to pan around to all of these competitors. Let's hear what's going on in the expo
Alrighty,
hall.
looks like they're beginning round 1 from my end. Got cows on this far end. That's Jacqueline Rogers and Colin Doherty working those cows. Then over kind of towards the middle of the arena, we have dairy cows. We have Colton and Kira Larson working the dairy cows. They won their showmanship. It looks like they're starting all the showmen with the species that they were best at, and the one they won with. I think a lot of these animals are their own. So everyone's getting their start in some familiar territory. Over at horse, I believe we have Joey Ward and Regan Mosman. I'm not entirely sure who's at the far end over there, but we'll do our best to move around, get you the best camera angles. If it's not the highest quality, I do apologize. My phone's just a touch old. So you'll have to have some words with the guy who is in charge of the sports broadcasting network so we can get some higher quality devices in our...
All right, folks, we're going to bring the audio back here. Whoops. Kind of juggling, doing several things at once. Let's see how our hog showmen are doing here. Looks like senior division we have Caleb Sumter and then Faith Armstrong as our intermediate and Lily Amato as our junior showman here for the hogs. Every showman now is actually beginning in the species that they won with. So they're starting where it's comfortable. Where it gets interesting is where they're going to rotate to the next species here momentarily. Let's take a look here at our sheep, see who we have competing over there today. Looks like our senior showman is going to be Brayley Foster. Her intermediate, it looks to be Katie Ward, and then Charlie Waite, our junior showman there. And over here on the goat side of things, on our sheep, our senior showman is Faith Vernier. And I apologize, I do not know the names of those other 2 showmen. I didn't have a list of names provided to me, but we will feature them along with everyone else as best we can. All right, let's head over back and listen in on what's going on in the expo hall.
Oh dear. Everybody's on the move now, trying to get shots of all the action. Kira and Colton working their cows around. I believe Sydney Wilkinson is the judge. I believe our judge is in here. We have Sydney Wilkinson doing dairy cows. Melinda Hoffmeister taking care of the horses. And the name of the beef judge escapes me at the moment.
All right. We're going to bring the audio back here to what's going on in the livestock pavilion. And keep in mind what's going on here is you watch them compete in one group within a species. They're not actually competing against each other. Those are 3 different age classes. So every senior is competing against every senior. So every showmanship judge here is going to have to really kind of keep track of how each individual does. They kind of have a score rubric they're working on. So they'll tally those scores and then see how they compete each one. So every individual is going to have to say, all right, for my senior sheep showman, here's how they all scored relative to the other seniors. And for the intermediates, how they scored relative to the other intermediates. So as you're looking, and we got some pretty good age discrepancies within our showmen of each species. Keep in mind that they are not competing against each other. They're competing against the other showmen in their age categories. Looks like our market judges, or our showmanship judges, are all done in their respective species. So we will have our first rotation here in just a minute. And we will hear from some of our sponsors. Let's go ahead and do that. Looks like we are kind of done for the moment. Let's head over and see what's going on in the livestock pavilion. Looks like we're just kind of hanging out. Looks like that showmanship judge is done. So while we're waiting, let's hear from one of our big sponsors of this set of broadcasts, LARCC Trucking.
LARCC Trucking is the place to call if you have something to haul. A family-owned trucking business since 2021, LARCC is named after the owner's children, their motivation to create a successful future. LARCC is ready to help you haul your hay, cattle, gravel, or equipment anywhere in southwestern United States. LARCC also buys and sells hay. Give them a call today at 970-274-0826 and get ready to haul.
All right, we have begun our first round of, we've completed our first round of showmanship here in the round robin competition. And the showmen have began to rotating. So the way it's going to work, it looks like the goat showmen rotate into the sheep's spot. And then we have the sheep showmen headed across the way to show some horses. Now, I'm not sure which group from the expo hall is coming this way. We will figure that out here momentarily. Okay, while everybody's still rotating, let's hear from another one of our sponsors, Rocky Mountain Turf Solutions.
When you partner with Rocky Mountain Turf Solutions, you become part of the family. Rocky Mountain Turf Solutions is a design, build, and install company for synthetic turf fields serving Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. We are the only owner-operated turf build and install company in Colorado, and we are a one-stop shop that does it all in-house, which means the people that are building your field care about quality and will make sure that it is done right. Choose Rocky Mountain Turf Solutions and join our family.
Oh, we... All right, it's kind of fun as we get started up here. Looks like we have another species getting shown. Looks like the pigs get to take a break. Over here we have Caleb Sumter, who's going to be showing a dairy goat. But there was only one competitor, just a senior showman in that category. So looks like we will have sheep and goats and dairy goats over here. And again, we've got our competitors over in the livestock pavilion. Let's hear what's going on over that way.
And Faith Vernier down showing the steers. I'm not sure how much experience either of them have in this particular arena. I know that Alec Baco, he won lambs, I believe. He won sheep showmanship. As did, I think, Faith also won
Yeah, sheep.
sheep showmanship, so it looks like they're doing a fine job of handling cows, and they've both been in the game long enough. They know how to handle just about anything, I'm sure. So, just getting everything set up. We're going to try to get a good look around the arena for all of you interested viewers at home. Once again, back to Colin and Jacqueline over at the dairy. If they're all right, we'll actually get a look over here at our horse showman for this round. Colton Larson and Kiera Larson, thank you. Awesome. Let's see, so how many total competitors? We have 7 in here, and then there's 3 stations over there with 2 I assume there's 2 people each over there, so that's another 6 plus the 7, which would make 13.
All right, coming back to you. A little audio here in the livestock pavilion. We do have a couple more showmen. They've come over from the expo hall. Here in this group, we've got Reagan Mosman. In your intermediate group, Jolie Ward. I'm not actually sure what age group they're in. That's all right. And Lexi Winford, the senior here, working those hogs. Now, it's kind of fun. None of where you get our exhibitors showing things that they're not familiar with. To my knowledge, these ladies have never shown pigs before in a market class, maybe a showmanship. So this is really now seeing who is the best overall showman of any species they can throw at them. Again, like we said, we've got Caleb Sumter working a dairy cow, and he's kind of behind the auctioneer's stand. Kind of tough to see that. Didn't realize there was going to be a group over there, so we may have positioned it a little differently. We have Brooklyn Winter, who won the dairy goat showmanship contest. She's now showing a market goat. And then we have our group of ladies over here working the sheep. Charlie Waite, Braley Foster, and Katie Ward. All right, let's send the audio back to Brody in the livestock hall.
Cast is off of a regular camera, but this one, it might be a little sketchy. That's why the picture quality isn't as good, and we're in the big old arena, so we have, it's not the best look at everybody, but we're doing the best we can with what we've got. So if you like the way this looks, just let us know. Leave a comment on the video. If there's anything we can change, also let us know. We are also joined in the quote-unquote booth by both Walter siblings now, Trayden and Addison. Addison, is there anything you'd like to say to all the lovely people at home? Oh, she says no, absolutely not. Sweet. Alec Bach and Faith Veneer both doing a fine job with those big old mounds of beef. Let's see, it looks like everyone else has already wrapped up. Dairy and horses have both wrapped up with their sections. I think we're going to move once more before we get into the next one. So once everyone is wrapped up, I think I'm going to at least move my camera down. We're going to get close to the beef cattle. How about that?
I think the Larsons might be going over pig, sheep,
Yes.
goats.
it looks like everyone in this building at least will do B.
Looks like they have completed this round of judging. And it appears they're getting about 5 minutes to be judged once they start. Again, we only have one dairy goat showmanship entry, and that was in the senior division. So when it's their turn to rotate in, looks like they're going from hogs over to that market to the dairy goat. Only the senior showman is going to be competing over there. And I know over in the live in the expo hall with the beef cattle, a similar situation with odd numbers. There is no junior showman in the showmanship contest this year, so only 2 competitors at a time. Also similar, different numbers in the dairy cattle. There were only 2 dairy cattle exhibits, so a senior and a junior showman there, no intermediate. So everybody gets to take a little break. At least the intermediates and the juniors do. Looks like our rotations.
Alrighty. Setting up down on this end of things, we have oh dear, that's not what I wanted to zoom in on. Here we go. You know what? I think we're actually gonna go down. Here's my mic.
All right, we were helping direct traffic here. It's a little bit confusing as to who goes which way next as we're all kind of getting situated. All right, looks like we have begun our next round of judging with a couple of our species. There goes Caleb Sumter, Faith Armstrong, and Lily Amato working the market goats. Lexi Winford showing that dairy goat over there. And now on the market lamb, Brooklyn Winter having a little conversation with the judge over there. And we have our dairy showmen that have made their way over into the pig showmanship ring. Colton Larson and young Miss Larson. No, kidding. I had someone call and just ask, how are you getting all this? Well, we're getting as much as we can. It's a lot of fun. All right, as we head back this way, put the attention on Kiera Larson and Colton Larson. As they start working their hogs, let's hear what is going on over in the expo hall.
So I would be very surprised if any individual is 100% unfamiliar with everything, so hopefully everyone has a good working relationship with all of these animals. Even though I'm just kind of spitballing, if my dad cut over just now to see what I was saying, then hello, how's the wider world of Saddle Rock? Oh, that was not what I was trying to do. There we go. The wider world of the Saddle Rock Sports Network. See, oh, dairy cattle might have just finished. That would have been a real quick in and out. Let's see if dairy cattle's finished, then we'll come over here and get a look at beef. Let's see how they're doing. There's Braley Foster and Katie Ward. Braley having a bit of a hiccup with her steer. Alrighty. I think everyone's getting fairly close to wrap it up. I think horse might also be about done, so we'll move one more time before we get into the next class of individuals. Let's see, Katie and Braley setting them up for the last time. 2-minute warning has been issued, so we will see if the judges wrap everybody up. Looks like we're kind of running ahead of schedule at the moment.
How are you?
Oh, thank you.
So you're running commentary on this too or anything?
I don't know how much people are hearing it, but my dad's using this film with his broadcast, so you can see both screens at once.
So he's in there
Yes.
doing this too.
Yes. His looks way better because he's not running it off a big little phone, but so yeah. But no, it's fun.
Now, is this the first year you guys have done this?
Yeah, the first time we broadcast everything. But
They just announced
Colin looks like he's doing real
that each class will be rotating to their next spot.
Yeah. I don't know anything about what's happening here, and I don't know a lot about
Over here in the livestock pavilion, our showmen
think
have already started. They were ready to roll there. So there we got Lexi Winford, Reagan Mosman, and Jolie Ward working those market goats. Seem to be running a little bit behind, kind of getting our swine showmen rotated out, mostly because it just takes a long time for them to make that long walk from the expo hall, then get to the swine. All right, so Faith, Caleb, and Lily working those market lambs. Lexi, Jolie, and Reagan over that away. There's Kira Larson working that dairy goat. Now just entered into the pig showmanship area. We have Colin Doherty, Jacqueline Rogers, and just the two, I guess, just Colin Doherty and Jacqueline Rogers. Those were our beef showman winners. All right, let's send the audio over to Brody in the expo hall.
I've experienced before, maybe leading differently, trying to keep the nose not all the way up in the air, but not all the way down either. Alec Baca now going out. Ooh, leading the horse in a bit of a jog. That looks fun. Hardly ever see any showmanship pace go at all above a walk. To our second viewer that happens to be watching on this little half stream, if you want to see the full stream of the entire round robin with the pigs and goats and lambs and things, go ahead and head over to Saddle Rock Sports Network. That'll be the way better place to find the entirety of the round robin. where we've got all the animals all at once with much better commentary and much better features, and you'll be able to hear from all of our wonderful sponsors who've been able to make this broadcast possible in its entirety. So yes, if you are not Brad Doherty watching the show, you are welcome to head over to Saddle Rock Sports Network. You can look them up on Facebook or YouTube and check out their channel. They've got some fantastic stuff bringing you all of the action at this Los Angeles County Fair. First year we've done this, but it's been real fun. Oh, down on the beef end of things, we have Brooklyn Winter showing a steer, and we happen to have cousin Cooper Winter, who is perfectly in the way, but it's all good. And Brooklyn's doing a fine job, I believe. Let's see, I forget which Showmanship Brooklyn won. It was either lambs or goats, and I don't remember which. But massive job well done to her. See, all of these showmen making it to round robin have won their own showmanship competition with their respective animals. Some people winning multiple animal showmanships at once. But massive kudos to all these individuals for making it so far and earning the right to compete in this round robin. While it may be selective, it is a joy of an experience.
Okay, we're bringing the audio back over here to the livestock pavilion. We're rotating in. Jacqueline Rogers moving over to the dairy goat showmanship area. We'll have the Larsons working the market goats over in that corner. And in this corner, we will have Jolie Ward, Riggin Mosman, and Lexi Winford on the market sheep here momentarily. This is a lot of fun. We really appreciate everyone that has jumped in and sponsored these broadcasts. To everyone, we appreciate everyone that's viewed these broadcasts and shared it with your family and friends, and all of these really fun and dedicated exhibitors and showmen that are doing their best, really committed to their projects, and now they're competing with animals that they may not be familiar with at all, which is really a lot harder than you think. Different styles, different techniques, different elements of each animal that you're trying to highlight to the judge. And although it'd be fun to have some mic'd up judges, we don't have any of those right now because just technically we don't have that, but it'd be fun to have them mic'd up because each judge asks the showman questions about that species. So they're not just testing, hey, how good can they show it, but what do they know? And that is where it can really trip you up if you aren't familiar with that particular species, or whether you're showing a dairy animal or a meat production animal of that species. Back in my day when I competed once in round robin, that really tripped me up. There were some very specific questions asked that I did not know the answers to. I thought I showed the animals well, but I was not as knowledgeable as my other competitors, so I did not win that round robin, although I did win my beef cattle showmanship that one year. We don't really have anybody in the pig showmanship area at the moment. I don't know if that group is done or what's going on over there. Maybe that one. Maybe they're running behind in one group. As we kind of scan left to right, it's kind of fun watching the folks handling sheep because they do not have any kind of halters on them. You just have to use your hands, as opposed to the market goats where you at least have something you can grip onto. Oh, I see Faith Vernier and her group of showmen at a brisk jog over here trying to get to the hogs. Looks like Jacqueline Rogers is done over at that market goat, or the dairy goat station. Faith Vernier and This young gentleman again hit the intermediate showman. Apologize, folks, don't know his name, but if you're friends and family of him, I'm sure you do. Oh, and here comes the junior showman. Just hopping on in the ring. I love it. Let's send the audio over to Brody, see what's going over in the expo hall.
Showing dairy cattle, but it's like you want to get them presented, want to show off their feminine features as, I don't know, milk producers. But that's my best guess, and I truly haven't the foggiest idea. Let's see over on the horse side of things. You'll have to pardon the long look. Let's see over there, I believe Braley Foster is over talking to Miss Hoffmeister. Wrapping our horse back around. And we also have over on that side, looks like Charlie Waite and Katie Ward, all showing horses.
Do you still use, did I hear you use Teams up there? We're not good. Fred, you don't read.
And we horse is getting going. I believe there are 2 showmen down. Brooklyn Winter looks like she's finished up with the dairy. Dairy cattle looks like it's pretty straightforward in their judging and getting through pretty quick, which is good. These bigger animals can take some more time to show, but when it's just, I assume there's not a whole lot to look at when you're judging dairy cattle. But you're really just not really judging the cow, you're more judging the showman in this case. So.
All right, we'll bring the audio back here to the livestock pavilion. Looks like this group of pig showmen is just about done. Our market goats have begun. Jacqueline Rogers and Colin Doherty working those market goats. And there's Kier Larson on her market lamb and Colton Larson on that market lamb. Hold on, Colton. In a way, I think because of that control you have to maintain, sheep showing, if you're not familiar with it, could be one of the most challenging ones to do. But look at the Larson siblings. They are really stepping up to the plate, doing great over there. And Jacqueline and Colin working those goats, although similar sized and similar basic principles in terms of squaring up the feet underneath them. You got that halter to hold on to, makes it a little easier.
Doing the little circuit. Alrighty.
All right, Faith Vernier headed over to the dairy goat section. Kind of getting caught up on our rotations. And here our judge, Mike Brunelli, interviewing our junior showman that won the market lamb showmanship, I believe. Let's watch Faith show that market goat, or that dairy goat rather. Kind of tough to see while she's hiding behind the auctioneer's stand. Colin and Jacqueline. Let's throw the audio over to the expo hall.
Let's see, 5 total shows plus this round robin. If anyone's curious, I don't believe we'll be streaming the sale. Just as an issue of space, we don't have quite the facilities. Everyone's crowded in for the sale, and looks like everyone's going to be rotating. So just once again, massive thank you to everyone who's helped to make this possible, not only our sponsors, And we are actually going to move down the way and try to get a look at horses. Get back momentarily. Your stuff? Yes, no? Okay.
All right, as we're rotating to our next stations, it's kind of tough to say when we're going to have time enough for a commercial sponsor. Looks like we have at least one more station to go. Colin and Jacqueline getting ready to show some market lambs. Then we will have our sheep showman headed over to the market goat area. And there should be someone hustling over into the pig arena. There's Jacqueline and Colin getting started with those market lambs. Again, the two that show our biggest species on a normal basis, Colin and Jacqueline, see how they handle those lambs today. Seem to be doing pretty well. And we have begun over there. The market goats. All right, let's send the audio over to the other side of the fairgrounds here.
Lexi and Reagan look like they're doing pretty well leading their cows around. Let's see, let's go over here, take a look at dairy real quick. Caleb and Lily looking like they're knowing what they're doing. Or at least making it look like they're knowing what they're doing. Alrighty, let's see. So I don't know how my dad's been doing all the cutting back and forth, but I want to try something real quick. So if he sees me talking, then he'll probably cut over, because I got something that I feel like would be fun to say. So as we pan over here to the horse, as Brooklyn Winter looks like she's finishing up, we'll get some footage of her walking her big old horse. So if Dad has cut over, and I would like to see if we can do this. So knock knock. Okay, I didn't actually ever have a knock knock joke lined up. I just wanted to. Oh, this one's better. Okay. Knock knock. Interrupting cow. Moo. So if Dad cut over and it worked, that would have been brilliant. If not, everyone's going to be very confused watching stream, or at least the one other viewer that's here on this little test stream. So yeah, ooh, oh my goodness, kicking my tripod all over the place here. So yeah, if anyone's curious, the way this works is kind of interesting. The reason we have a separate stream up here is the way that we have to have two cameras. We don't just have a live feed and a cable running all the way over to the show barn where my dad set up with his computer. It's very, very cool. I'm sure he's explained it because he put a lot of thought into it. But the stream is, so my phone is currently streaming to YouTube. It's streaming to a separate channel that my dad is capturing. He's capturing the live stream from his computer. And from that live stream, he is then taking that footage, that live footage, and putting it on his stream. So it's kind of two streams in one. It's a little bit of Inception, if y'all have seen that movie, but it's really.
All right, sounds like Brody was giving you a little behind the scenes info on how we're getting this done today. It's really been a lot of fun to figure out this multiple screen, multiple location technique. Working out some of the kinks for the first time ever. And this is going to enable us to really do some fun stuff at our sports broadcasts later on in the year in terms of, for example, a great example is a track meet where you have different events happening at very spread out locations all over the place at a track meet. It's virtually impossible to cover it all with one camera or even two cameras if you're located in the exact same spot. The technique we're using today is going to allow us to, as long as there is a good cell phone connection on all of them, they're going to be able to bring you multiple events at a location and just have a lot of fun. So for example, we'll have one camera covering the running events, one camera at the throwing area, one camera at a jumping pit, and we can do this using the same technique we're doing today. All right, looks like the final showman is really Braley Foster over there working that dairy goat. Results from today are going to be broadcast. Looks like we also have Kira Larson over in the livestock, or in the expo hall, showing one of the beef cattle. Those are look to be maybe our final two areas of judging showmanship contest for you. Oh, and I do see that we have a couple of dairy cattle getting judged over there across the way. Oh, correction. Brooklyn Winter has just stepped into the pig show ring. Let's see how she does. You know, these hogs getting kind of tired. They've been out here for about an hour now. Much longer than we asked them to perform in ring. Another thing they do as they go from species to species is they make sure they match up the same animal with the same age group of showmen. So Brooklyn, one of our senior showmen, she is going to show the same animals that all the rest of the senior showmen have worked with today. So you're really giving each species showmanship judge a good apples to apples comparison between these young showmen. Brooklyn still working hard. It looks like we also have someone over across the way showing a horse. Can't quite tell who that is over there, but still getting it done. Let's hear what's going on over there.
Lexi and Jolie finishing up their dairy. They're going to be, once they're finished, they're going to take, what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to go back to the horse station where they started, so this should be the last rotation. I believe everyone just gets to go through all the animals once, and that's about it. So let's see, let's take one more look. Over here at the beef, with Kira Larson still standing with her cow. As we get close to done with the day's festivities, once again, massive congratulations to all of the young showmen in the ring right now for putting on a show in their individual spot. It's not it's not easy to win showmanship in your own division, let alone show amongst the best of the best in theirs. So everyone's done well. We haven't had any runaway cows or runaway horses up to this point. So
all right, folks, it looks like we are just about done with the contest today. We really appreciate you doing this as we work out some of our audios. If it sounded like Brody and I were talking over each other, trying to jump back and forth, I really can't hear what he's saying. So I'm just jumping in when and where it makes sense. We're going to go ahead and stop this broadcast for the moment. Thank you all for being here, for supporting what we're doing, for supporting these kids, whether you are a business sponsor, a personal sponsor, or just someone that's enjoying these views on our channel and sharing it with your community. We really appreciate you helping us make this grow. It's been a pleasure to bring the fair to you here in 2023. We look to do it again next year, and we look to have more students involved in the process next year. Thank you again. Have a great rest of your fair, and we will hopefully see you out